In this video, we are going to do some cleanup in our application because there are things that we did only for testing. So let's get to work. Let's go to SRC or source, let's go to app, and I want to delete the lifecycle test component. So let me delete this. Let me click on here. And now we have to go to our app module because now that we remove that component, we have to come here and we have to delete this from here and this from here. And let me remove this comma. Now there is some styling that we have regarding the headers, so let's correct that. Let's go to here, and this is fine. Let's go then to styles, and here you can see that we have this. I can remove it, and let me do the same for movies list. Here we have this other H2. I can remove it, and now let's go back here, and as you can see, we don't have any more styling with the header 2. Let's now clean up our movies list component because this is not the way that I want to display a movie. I actually want to display the poster of the movie with a different styling. So let's go back to Visual Studio Code and let's go here. Now let's minimize this and let's get to work. So now let's do the following. First, I want to put a div here because I want to enclose all of this in that div. Let me say Ctrl Alt F. And here I want to put a class. It will be movies container, which is different than this movie container. Now I will delete all of this because again, this is not the design that I want to display to the user. I actually want an anchor here and I want an image element here. I'll say source, and here I will put the URL of the image in just a moment. I'll say poster. I'll get back to this in a moment. Now I need a paragraph for the title, so I will say anchor movie.title, and below that paragraph we're going to put another div, and here we will have two buttons. The first one is actually going to be an anchor. I'll say matte flat button, color primary, and it will be for editing. The second one is going to be a button which will say delete, and the styling is going to be also matte flat button, color worn, and the type is going to be button. And that's it here. Now we have to go to the CSS file in order to work. I can delete this and I will say margin right 2%, margin button will be 10 pixels, and I will align the text align center. Now let's say movies container, and I will use flexbox, so I will say flex here. I want to display them in a row, so I will say flex direction row. I want to wrap them, of course, so I will say flex wrap, and align items center. Some extra styling that I want to do is for the paragraph to have a max width of 225 pixels, a height of 44 pixels, font size of 15 pixels, and font weight will be bold. And now let's say image, the dimensions of the image are going to be width 225 pixels and height 300 pixels. And finally for the button, we are going to add a margin left of 1 em. Now let's save everything and let's see what we have here in Google Chrome. Now as you can see, we have many things. We can see better what is going on if we remove all of these movies and only leave two, like Spider-Man and Moana. So let's go here and let me go to the app component, to the class of the app component, and as you can see I have this repeated because we needed that for the example of the nav menu, but we can delete this. We only need to leave two movies. Let me save. And now as you can see, we have that the movies will be in the same row. Now we need to work on the poster. So what I'm going to do is that I'll come here and I'll say poster, and I'll put the URL of the poster of each movie. In the future, all of this is going to come from a database, and the URL of the poster will come from an image that we're going to store in Azure Storage or locally in our web API But for now, we're just going to use an IMDb image. So let's go to IMDb. Let's look for Spider-Man Far From Home, for example. Right click here, copy image address. Let's go back here and let me paste the image here, the URL. And let me do the same for Moana. I will come here, I will say Moana, I will click on here, right click here, copy image address, and I will paste it here. I will save. And now let's go back to our movies list component. So we can say here movie.poster, and let me save, and let's go back to Google Chrome. Let's go back here, and as you can see, we have Spider-Man and Moana, each one with their image. Of course, in the future, we will be able to click on the image or click on here, and we'll be able to see the details of the movie, but that is going to happen in the future. For now, let's continue working with our application, and in the case of this module, we are going to work with routing. We will see that next.